Whenever I used to fuck men, I would like leave with bruises, and that was like the best sex ever if I was like leaving a little hurt, you know? And women...
You're all trauma.
Women... Can you tell I have daddy issues?
Literally.
Your wardrobe screams fatherless. You have more trust in that top Zyban people.
How was your relationship with your father? Just saying, why did you get the attention you wanted?
You need Jesus.
That's offensive. Welcome back to That's Offensive. Today we have Jewelz Blu and Jade. Actually, just Jade. That's all you are.
Yeah, that's all I am. Just Jade.
Jules and Jade. Jules and oh my God, JJ.
Yeah, J squared.
Have you guys seen that clip of the Kardashians where they were? I think they were on like one of those game shows, and it was Kim, and she's like, yeah, sometimes we call ourselves the KKK. And like, the host was black, and he was like, and like, nothing clicked in their head. She was like, what's wrong with that? Have you guys seen that clip though?
Yeah, I have. No, I'm like, really bad. Really
that
bad that
so
their initials are that all together.
Yeah.
Like, does not bode well.
See, if it was like Kim, Chloe, Kylie, like all of them, you know, then it'd be KKKKKK or something like that. So that would be okay. But just like the 3 Ks, like, girl.
Stop right there.
None of her brain cells must have been working that day.
No, I feel like she was taking on at that time, like kind of the Paris persona, because Paris, you know, got big off of like pretending to be stupid.
Yeah,
Right.
So,
I love that.
Smart marketing.
Yeah.
Smart marketing.
oh,
She's a
nothing
genius.
that girl does is without a plan.
No.
Like everything I do is wild carding. Like,
I like seeing the TikToks of people reenacting them with like shaking the sides, like, yes, okay. Like,
Yeah,
everything-
I especially love when they talk like Courtney. Like when she just has so monotonous and everything like that. It's so hilarious.
people used to tell me I sounded like Courtney, and then recently they're like, oh, not as much anymore. I'm like, okay, that's good. Because can you imagine just like fucking, I mean, maybe she's good in bed. But like,
She's like,
how would you guys think that Courtney sounds in bed?
She's like it's just she's not even giving anything.
Yeah,
she's like,
Travis.
yes, queen,
It's
give
like-
us nothing.
Travis, she's just laying there like a dead fish.
Yeah, that's how I kind of picture it too. So
I always
Wow. Harder.
Oh no. I always wonder if like regular people, like, you know, normal civilian people who are in the industry, like when they be fucking, like, do they make sounds? Because, you know, in my apartment, I'm like, man, I like really hope no one hears me through these walls.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yes, fuck me, yes. And I'm like
Get, like,
filming my
no-
customs. And I'm like, well, I wonder if like my neighbors can hear. I don't know if they can. I like to think that they don't, because I like to think the walls are thick. But I'm like moaning
you.
like all these different like names,
Yeah.
like Scott, like Tom, Timothy, Sam. I'm like, they must think I have like all these men. Like, damn, she's with this dude again.
it's just you filming customs. I used to be like loud even before OnlyFans, and I remember my ex specifically because he lived in the frat house. And he showed me the group chat where they're like, yo, maybe tell your girl to be a little quieter. And
My God.
I couldn't, like, if I'm enjoying myself, like, you're going to hear it. And if I'm not enjoying myself, you're not going to hear anything. But it's like, I mean, I'm not over here, like, you barely touch a nipple and I'm screaming already. But it's if I'm enjoying the sex.
No,
like,
yeah,
I'm loud.
I'm a naturally vocal person. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
You
fuck me harder.
never.
I'm like, I like to make sounds. I don't know,
Uh-huh.
and I'm like the same too. Like, if I don't like it, I'm like, oh yeah.
I want them to know they're doing bad, you know? Like, I don't want to fake it just to make their ego stroked, you know? Yeah.
No, sir, you did not make me come.
But really, like, do you, like, in porn, do you ever do that with men? Like, or, like, do you do mainstream? I think you do.
Yeah, I do mainstream.
Yeah. So, like, do you ever tell these men, like, that just wasn't that great for me?
You know, I honestly haven't had that much experience. I feel like the only time where like I'm doing a scene where I feel like it's like not about the sexual pleasure, it's more about the visuals. It's
Yeah,
like
of course.
when I'm filming VR. But you know, I'm very blessed to work with a lot of male talent who like know how to fuck and
Yeah.
like know how to rock my world. And I'm like, I walk out of there, I'm like, nice.
I hope so. You're a professional fucking sexer.
Yeah.
But no, like you're coming to set with bad sex.
Are
Like,
you imagine being bad at your only job?
literally?
Like, you're bad at the one thing you're supposed to be like a professional.
You're getting paid to do this.
No,
Come on.
my favorite is when I am working with like a guy and I'm literally feeling like he's fucking me so hard. I feel like my brain rattling in my skull.
Yeah.
Like that's my favorite.
Do you like aggressive sex too?
I do like it. I like to be like a little pillow princess and a fuck doll. Like it's my favorite. But I noticed like European men, like when I work with like European like male performers, like another level of good. Yeah.
Okay, another girl was just on the I think yesterday saying like they're very sensual, so sometimes the sex isn't as good, but like for you,
I feel like they like know what they're doing. Like I don't know, I just take it.
Yeah. How did you get over, I mean, at least I have this fear, but how did you get over the fear of the turtleneck hanging around their penis?
What do you mean?
The extra skin.
Cock.
Yeah.
I was like turtleneck. You know, I like an uncut cock. I really do because, you know, like it has that little like cock sleeve, natural cock sleeve they have going.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it slides in the pussy really well.
I've heard that for anal. It's like amazing.
Yeah, like I haven't like done anal like yet, but like I could see how an uncut cock and anal, like, you know, would be amazing.
So okay, so you've never done anal in general?
Yeah,
Me too.
Just like solo stuff.
Do you have like poop problems? Like, do you poop a lot? Is that what? I mean, I don't know if that's like too much.
Well, I just haven't done it yet.
Okay,
I just haven't done it yet. I mean, as a digestive system, she's good. I'm vegan. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
but, like I don't have IBS. So.
I do. So
I'm very blessed that I don't have IBS. We'll leave it. I don't have IBS.
Can't even look at food without having to fucking shit with IBS.
I was scared to like, I just ate some tacos before this and I didn't want to eat them because I'm like, dude, I don't want to have to poop later. Like, I want to be good. Like, I shower after I poop. Like, there aren't showers here for me.
Oh no, do you fight for you're like sweating, you're like, I need to shower.
That happens a lot, honestly, where I'm like fighting. I'm like just over here sweating and it's like, my one friend Mikey was on my podcast and she was talking about like, when she used to do poop content and like that's even though I talk about poop content. Or I talk about pooping a lot. I'm like, I mean,
it's a normal thing. I don't think, I'm not like, I don't get weirded out by it.
But like,
everyone shits. We be shitting.
But fighting for your life on video and playing that back, I just don't think I can.
You know, it's
literally
really
asshole clenched so fucking tight.
Tell them what happened when we got in the elevator this morning.
Oh my god! So we were in the elevator, right? And I was like, "Fuck, I have to take a shit." And I was like, I shit every time I fucking eat. And then this guy walks in as soon as I say that, and I was like, anytime I eat, I know I'm gonna have to shit like within 12 hours the next day. And he like walks in as I'm saying that, and he just looks at us like. Perplexed.
It's just dying laughing.
We were dying. It was kind of funny. It was just more of his like facial expression. He was like, "What the fuck did I walk into? This sounds shitty as fuck."
Like, oh my god, that like Russian roulette. Oh, honestly, if you guys are into skits, because you live in LA too, we could do like that Russian roulette like elevator thing where it's like we're just saying the gnarly stuff and there's like a hidden camera.
I would love to do that.
Like so that you know, what could I say? So it's giving a guy a blumpkin and just like have someone walk in and just see,
and then it splashed back.
Or have you seen those like those TikToks where people are like just saying the wildest shit in their Uber drivers and just like seeing if the Uber driver like what they say?
Oh my god!
It's like they just make up stories on the spot. Like yeah, like so your dad. It's like improv. Like so yeah, your dad was fucking my mom, and like they're still married to their significant other. Like the craziest stories.
Oh my god! I want to do that.
Yeah, it's so fucking fun.
I want to fuck with people's heads.
Yeah, get the reactions. Like those prank videos do so fucking well too.
I bet they do. I'm like giving me ideas over here.
That reminds me of like what show was it? I think in the 90s where people like used to
Silent Library.
No, they used to get in the cab in the back seat and they'd like film it. I don't remember what it was called, and it was like in New York, and they would film people getting in the fucking cab saying the most obscene shit, and they were always fucking drunk at like 2 in the fucking morning.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, it was a thing. It was a thing back in the day. I can't remember the exact fucking name, but
I was born in '97. Maybe that's why.
Look it up. I'm gonna have to look it up.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Wait, it's not fake taxis.
No, it's not. Definitely was not fake taxis. And
Taxi what?
Taxi cab confessions.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Confessions?
Yeah.
Wait, how do they do?
HBO.
Huh?
HBO.
HBO.
Yeah.
Wait, how do they confess to things if they're like drunk though? You know, how do they like sign off like I consent to this being posted on TV if they're drunk? Because isn't that not legal anymore? Or maybe back then they're like.
This was in the 90s.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe,
it was a little different. It was
they
like
blurred
90s,
the faces.
2000s.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then the taxi driver would be asking him a bunch of crazy questions, and they had the little dash cam. It was so hilarious.
Oh,
I love that.
Yeah, I want to watch that. We can recreate that.
Yeah.
So Jewelz here thought that there was an earthquake earlier, because there's like train tracks nearby and they're shaking, and
I was like a little scared. I was like, oh, my California PTSD kicked in.
California does have a lot of earthquakes.
They do. Well, there was one that happened like a few months ago, and I was literally on my little like cloud couch in my cam room, getting my nut in with my Hitachi, you know. And after I like made myself come, I like, you know, I'm like, okay, time to open Twitter back up. I'm gonna just scroll and chill. And everyone's like posting like, oh my God, there was just an earthquake. Did you feel that? Oh my God, did you guys feel that? And I'm like, I literally just like came with the earthquake. Like, that's really hot.
Maybe you caused the earthquake. Bitch.
I know, the Hitachi's so strong.
Literally.
When your legs start shaking so bad, like, and it just, that's the earthquake.
I love my Hitachi.
That's my favorite thing. My mom accidentally gave me my first vibrator because she is like, this is a back massager, and I have like a lot of problems with like my back, like my hips. So she's like, oh, this will help with all your problems. And my mom's, I know she doesn't masturbate, okay? I just know like looking at her. So she gave it to me, and I'm like,
Thanks.
free vibrator.
Thanks, Mom.
Right.
Thank you.
Like, it's a massage one.
No, I was one time at her place, and she put like these like goggles that are supposed to relax you on. She put 2 Hitachis on both of my shoulders to try to relax me, and all I could think was like, wow, I could be getting into this, but my mom is like right there.
Oh my goodness.
That is so funny. You know, I like Hitachi. They're such a diverse company. Like, you know, anywhere from like tractors, you know, into vibrators.
I thought those were like 2 separate companies with the
Maybe
same
they
name.
are. I don't know, but I don't know.
Could be.
I don't think they are.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, tractors and vibrators. It makes sense.
It
Vibrating
does.
motors.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that really does. Like, they would have the technology because they have, like I go to sex shops, and they always try to convince me to buy something other than the Hitachi, always something that's more expensive. And every time I end up, like, I have probably spent $1,000 on vibrators just for me to go back to the Hitachi.
The Hitachi's the only way to go. I like that I like that it's really strong. Mm-hmm. It makes me think of like, you know, like a Vitamix blender. Like the Vitamix blender of vibrators.
Of vibrators, yeah.
Like, please pulverize my clit.
Oh, yeah. I want to, like, loose feeling there after. Sometimes, do you ever get rug burn on your pussy?
I have before. I tried. I feel like, I don't know, you know, like with the Hitachi, I feel like I always feel like a sick fuck. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to make myself come again, like 8 times. And I'm like, okay, I need to stop. I need to really stop right now. Like,
me too. It's like, that's the thing. I don't masturbate as much as I want to for the sole reason that once I start, it'll be like 3 hours later, and I have avoided all of my other responsibilities.
Oh my God.
And then my vagina, like, you can look at it, and it almost like looks like I was like rug burn at those areas.
Literally redefining raw doggy.
but you know, I'm bringing back acoustic masturbation. Like, just like the fingers.
Oh, just
like,
the fingers?
I recently rediscovered that part of myself. I like was on a work trip, didn't have my Hitachi with me, which was a crime in itself. And so I was like, you know, I'm like feeling really horny, and I like did like just the fingers, and I like hadn't done that in a long, and I like made myself come, and I was like,
really?
Wow, acoustic.
That would be so hard to dial it back after using your Hitachi.
Yeah, because
regularly.
Your clit is just used to like level 100, and your fingers are maybe like level 10, but I will say the fingers are so much more sensual.
Yeah.
I feel like you have to get more in tune with yourself to like that kind of stuff. But like, have you ever tried breath work and coming?
I have not.
Okay, the like orgasms get so much crazier, so you like do some breath work, and you like hold your breath while you're trying to come, and then like, because that's all you can focus on. And it's really cool.
I need to try that.
Yeah.
Like,
but with the fingers, I'm like, sometimes it's so hard to come. Like, I will have to, like, watch myself videoing myself to come with my fingers, but otherwise I can't come like that, you know?
No, it is, like, harder, but I've, like, done it, like, like, here and there, like, sporadically, and I'm, like, really proud of myself to, like, get back to that, because I'm, like, back in the day, that's, like, you know, I didn't have a Hitachi or a vibrator when I was, like, younger.
Yeah.
And then I think I got my first, like, vibrator, like, a shitty, like, Hitachi wannabe, like, when I was, like, in community college, and yeah, and then when I got my first actual Hitachi, I was like, whoa. Are
you a squirter?
I am. I'm like this past year I've unlocked a lot of my squirting powers.
Ooh. How far in this room do you think you could squirt?
so I shot a scene a couple weeks ago, and I like literally like sprayed like probably as far as like the end of that like the power like converter thing right there.
I think that's about how far I can do. But that's like those are my intense orgasms. Like sometimes I have baby squirts.
Yeah, there's
Sometimes
those
I have-
little baby squirts.
Yeah.
This one, like, I feel like when I'm doing a scene with, like, a guy and I'm getting fucked, I, like can squirt more. Like, what is this position? Like, reverse cowgirl? Yeah, like, when I'm, like, facing the camera writing. Like,
Yeah.
that's, like, I think, for me, the best position to, like, squirt in because it's just, like, hitting right there. Like, I don't know.
I love reverse. Actually, yeah, I like reverse cowgirl a lot because I feel like if it's POV, your ass looks so fucking good. Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, I want to, like, jiggle cheeks on there.
Yeah.
Make him clap. Make him clap.
Make him clap, make him clap. So both of y'all are ravers.
Yes,
I don't get a lot of those on my podcast. We are like the OG ravers. Like I've been following Jade since 2017.
Like 2017. I want to say 2017.
Were you part of
each other? Same with her.
Okay, were you part
Yeah.
of like the Plur Bunnies, USA EDM fam? Like,
Yes.
I remember all of us getting reposted all the fucking time.
we were all like micro. Is it called micro celebrities?
Micro
Yeah.
Yeah.
influencers or whatever the fuck it's
Whatever.
called. It
Oh
sounds
my
so
God.
corny.
It
But like we
does.
were like all had like maybe like 1,000 followers. I remember when you first started and you first started
Yeah.
too. It was like from the beginning and then we just were getting reposted all the
Yeah,
fucking time.
it was crazy.
just,
At the
so
course of
crazy.
like 3 months, I got like 50,000 followers or
Yeah.
something, and I was like, oh my god. And then I thought I was like a little celebrity, and then
Right.
my dad like the Instagram got deleted, or my dad made me delete it.
Oh,
so I'm like,
no.
oh no.
I miss those
Had to
days.
start back over.
I
Yeah.
remember like when I first got Instagram and just like seeing like all the OG ravers, and I was like, cause I always wanted to go to raves, and I like didn't really get to until like 2016, and like when I went to my first rave, my first rave was Nocturnal Wonderland, absolutely amazing, and I was like, I want to be like a little rave influencer.
It was so funny when we all be tagging like Plur Bunnies,
Yeah.
like EDM family and shit
And then
like that.
there's EDM Babes. That's like the longest
Yes.
running one that still exists
Right.
today. Like,
They-
and he'll still repost me, the dude
Aw.
on there. Yeah,
Yeah.
He was so
He's
picky
so
about posting
nice.
me. Plur Bunnies
What?
always posting me, but
I love Plur Bunnies.
yeah. But then they got deleted too. I feel like we were all, God, this was such a time to be alive.
And then
It
there was
really was, and it was before all like the rave politics and like, oh my god, let's
There's
be
rave
Plur.
politics now?
But I just feel like before people started getting like just so like, oh, you're not Plur and like
I don't know.
companies and shit
Well,
like
like,
that. It just
I-
got weird.
Yeah, I feel like right now, because like I still like am very involved in the rave scene, like seeing on TikTok, like there's like a new wave of like the
TikTok.
popular TikTok ravers, and my thing is like for me, because I'm like really like into like the rave culture and like wanting to like keep the community like safe and protected, I feel like it's important that like the younger people, they need to like know the history and like
Yeah.
also I do think I don't think Plur is dead, and I think that people like new people need to learn Plur, and that's why whenever I go to raves, like I still make candy. Like I'll do like little candy meetups because like I have a lot of
Yeah.
people who like want to like find me at the rave, and that's like the only time I'll be like, okay, like come trade candy with me, and like we can hang out and vibe and whatever. So yeah,
One of her fans brought her candy today.
I know, it's so sweet. He made this one because I do like a lot of. He's like, this is because you do one of my favorite things, spit play.
Spit play.
I love it. And then he made this one, it says sapphire because my birthstone's a sapphire.
Okay.
And then this one, blue dreams. Because
He kept on pulling that shit out. He was like, here, I need another train.
I love
Another
him.
train.
Shout out to you, Mario. You're such a sweetheart.
Have you guys seen that like Taylor Swift fans are making candy, but they're calling it, what are they
Friendship.
calling it?
Oh.
Friendship.
Oh.
It's like y'all are hopping on this train so late.
I cannot.
No, and this is how they give it out. They're like, here's a friendship bracelet, and they just give it to you like that. And I'm like,
Thank you.
I don't know why. It's just like, I don't know. It like grosses me
A
out.
friendship
Yeah, I gotta
is-
do
You're appropriating.
peace,
Yeah, peace,
love,
unity,
unity,
and
and then
respect.
respect.
When you
And
trade
then-
it.
That's how you
No,
trade it.
when I saw that on TikTok, I'm like, oh my god, I'm making a friendship bracelet, and okay, like I'm gonna be a hater.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a hater. Okay, like I'm sorry.
So you're
like,
not a Swiftie then.
Yeah, I'm not a Swiftie. No, not at all. No, but I think for me it's because like I'm a raver, and like we have like how we get the bracelets, and then seeing them awkwardly like here's the.
Yeah, and not knowing like the history behind it.
Yeah,
kinda.
and like they're like using like the all the beads and stuff. I'm like,
They're
do you,
literally
boo.
putting the end in friend right
But
there.
I'm just like friendship bracelets. I'm like, it just like I don't know. It kind of weirded me out. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't.
Yeah, a
support
lot
this.
of Swifties scare me, but like here's the thing. I feel like I used to not like Taylor Swift. I used to not like her. I'm still like not the biggest fan of her music, but I'm like, I respect her hustle, like
She has
how
fucking
much she's
talent,
blown
yeah.
up. Yeah,
like her songs are bops. Like I don't listen to them. I don't
Yeah.
like necessarily. I don't hate her because like I don't hate. I don't believe in hating women.
yeah.
But I also like the Swift. I think the fan base is what
I don't
annoys
like.
me.
I'm not a
It
big fan
really
of the fan
is.
base.
It's a little
Fan base
kooky.
is
It's a little
cringe.
kooky. They need to go touch grass.
Yeah, but for a woman, like, because a lot of these billionaires, I don't know if she's a billionaire, but like a lot of these billionaires, they stay billionaires by like being cheap. She's out here giving $100,000 bonuses, like that. I love that
Yeah.
for her. Like that almost makes me want to buy her concert tickets, but not really.
Oh my, the people, the price they go for,
Oh my
much
gosh,
is
it's
it?
insane.
like
Even in,
thousands.
yeah. It's
That,
like,
yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Same with like
lot.
Harry Styles. Like girls go crazy for him. Well,
I don't see the hype.
Hard pass.
yeah.
Hard pass.
Wait, we're ravers. Oh, we
Yeah.
should do that. Like we're ravers.
We're ravers.
We used to take drugs from strangers. We're ravers. We used to take stuff from the ground and not have to test
Literally,
it.
yeah, that ground score.
We're ravers. Of course, we're gonna stay up till 6 a.m. and go rave.
I used to get so fucked up I could never do it. I would literally one time I like pissed myself and I was supposed to admit carnage.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, those were
Oh
the,
my
like
God.
when you met me at EDC. I think okay, so I met you at
We were at Neon Garden. We were near the front, and you were like, I had met you, and you gave me a hug, and you were like coherent, but I could tell like you were fucking feeling your oats.
Yeah, I was on 2 tabs of acid. I was so fucked up that I lost the Molly that was in my backpack. Somehow fell out. So what did I do? I bought 3 points of Molly, took it all at once,
Oh my goodness.
blacked out. Yeah.
Oh my god.
I was crazy back then. But like that, but ravers, we were like that. We were like animals.
No,
We
I
really were.
and my
I feel
fir-
like it was insane. Pulling fucking 3-day benders. You're on the 4th day, still no sleep. Your fucking eyes are popping out of your
Yeah.
skull.
You accidentally took some meth, so can't go to sleep now.
Oh my God.
I
Literally.
saw someone at Countdown who they had like bulging eyes and it was like scaring me. Like I think like he looked like he was really lit and my friend's like one of my like friends, I like got her in the rave. She's like, Jewelz, what's wrong with his eyes? And I'm like, I don't know.
Meth,
like,
maybe?
I'm like
Meth,
concerned. I'm concerned. But you know, one thing that I've like been into recently, and like I'm not trying to like name drop brands, but like those beatboxes at the rave.
Oh, I
those-
love beatboxes.
Okay. Oh yeah. I'm like fucked up.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
They're like cookie wine coolers.
What did you say they were?
They were like ghetto wine coolers. Like I'm just like.
I like the sugar rush that comes with the alcohol. Like, because I'm like, I don't really drink caffeine. This was decaf, and I put sugar in it because, like, sugar gets me going. And I'm like, okay, the beatboxes, and I feel like I don't get hungover per se. I just, like,
I feel like the beatboxes, I will still drink them just because it's
I've
not
blacked
about
out
the journey, but the
before from a
destination.
beatbox and combination
One?
with other goodies. Yeah,
Oh,
no,
other
multiple,
goodies.
but like there's other goodies involved. And this was hard summer, and we were like in the crowd for who was it, Skrillex, and then I don't know, like. I don't remember who else was playing, but the crowd was like so crowded. And I remember like when the rave was over, like walking back to the car with my friends, like I was holding on to one of my friend's hands like really tight, and I just like don't remember the walk to the car.
Damn.
Like, I made it to the car safe, and like I get on autopilot when I get home. I'm like, take off makeup, wash face, sleep. Like my autopilot's really good.
they're kind of like the Four Locos in the sense where they,
They
do,
really
like,
are like
hit.
a new wave.
I've never had a Four
rave
Loko before.
Girl, where have you been?
I've never had a Buzzball, and I've never had a Four Loko.
I love a good
Wait,
Four
I've never
Loko.
had it. What's a buzzball?
I don't know.
It's like these little, they're tiny balls, but it's like a high volume percentage of alcohol. It's only like 8 ounces.
Yeah.
And it's just like that.
They
It's-
sound disgusting.
They get you fucked up. They are kind of
Interesting.
gross. They are.
They
you
sound
could
really
taste. You could taste the
gross.
alcohol.
Oh,
in
like,
them. I think it's like 15%
I like.
alcohol per
I'm
volume.
a girl. I like when my alcohol doesn't taste like alcohol.
I like when my tequila tastes like tequila.
Me too. Me too.
I like a little fruit drink unless I'm doing a shot.
Yeah. So like this concept of rave bays, because I feel like people who don't do Molly and like go to festivals, like they have never understood that like when you hang out with someone for the whole night, you're on Molly and like you're in love with them, and then you hang out with them again sober, and then you're like, oh, that
What was I
was
thinking?
really just
Oh
the
my
Molly.
The drugs are the drugs are talking. The drugs are
You're
talking.
oh, you're so cute, and then it's like the sun rises, and you're like, oh,
No.
Rose-colored glasses.
Yeah.
oh my god.
You have any stories like that?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I think one thing I actually, so my boyfriend at the time, we were at Dream State. We met this girl, and she like made out with me, like nowadays I don't think I would make out with a stranger at all. Like,
Yeah, 'cause
I'll
they're
make
not
out. I
trusted.
make out with my friends, but like that's about it.
Uh-huh.
And then like we ran into her again at Countdown, and we ended up taking her home with us, and like made her the unicorn the night. And she was like a little younger than me. She was like, I think, I'm trying to think how old I was at the time. Like, she was like 19. It was a little young for me. And I think she was like 19 or 20. And I think I was like 22 or something. And we were like banging her. And she was so fucking loud and annoying. Like, she was so loud. Like, her like moans. I like had to put my hand over her mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shh.
Literally checking her.
It's like one. Oh gosh.
But it was a fun experience. Like, finding a unicorn like so naturally and like, spontaneously at the rave, and like having a little rave bay.
Yeah.
Like for the weekend.
Have you always been like, you don't want to be monogamous, or do you want to be monogamous?
I'm not a monogamous girl.
Okay.
No.
Have you always been like that?
Always. I've always had that. Like, I don't know. I just have like a lot of love to give. I don't know. The more the merrier. Within reason.
Yeah. So are you dating multiple people, or are you just like fucking multiple people?
So I have dated multiple people at a time. Had 2 separate relationships at the same time. Like, done that like quite a bunch. I've had multiple fuck buddies along with that. You know.
Yeah.
Kind of have a little fun.
Dude, that's so fun. Like, I think that girls who can like do that, they just have like superior mentalities. Like, I'm like, if I'm not fucking multiple people, I'll fall in love with you.
No, seriously. Like, it's 7 billion people, 8 billion, nearly 8 billion people in this fucking world, and you think your soulmate isn't Timbuk fucking 2 hours. Like, I'm so serious. Like, you both just happen to be in some fucking small podunk town. Yeah.
I was like seeing something like that where like people who live in small towns and they have like their little crushes. It's like, that's not like your soulmate because of like, you know, just random chances, just because you were like literally like
have no options.
There's no options.
No
And I'm like,
options.
oh no, I'm so glad that I don't have that problem.
Do you date other like porn men, or like do you date? You're bi, right? Like, you date men and women.
I do date men and women. I have never dated any performer in the industry.
Okay.
Like, I like love like flirting with like all my like, you know, I'm gonna say like coworkers and friends, because that's basically what they are.
Yeah.
You know, I love flirting with them. I love banging with them, banging them. You know, but I like don't know like if I could date in the industry.
Okay, interesting.
Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I've never done it before. It hasn't happened. I'm not like against it. But like, I don't know, it's like nice like being able to have that like fun on set and fun doing content, and like, you know, I like flirting with like different people. Like, whenever I go to the industry parties, I'm like, I want to bang you. I want to bang you. I banged you and I banged you, and I'm like, oh, you're so fun. I just like love flirting with everybody. But I don't know like if I would date anybody. Like,
Okay.
I just like haven't had that, like, it just hasn't happened where I've like, you know, hung out with someone like that much, like besides like my girlfriends. Like, I would date my girlfriends
In the industry, or
yeah,
Right, okay,
I would date my friends. I'm like, but I'm not like, you know, I haven't hung out with like a lot of like male talent like for funsies. So,
Makes sense.
yeah,
Okay.
it just hasn't happened.
Are you like one of those goth dommy mommies?
I am.
So okay. Because I was just saying this on the podcast before, where it's like a lot of my like sexual experiences with women, I like very femme presenting women. And that is goth, like, but I'm not into the butch, but a lot of like femme presenting women are, they don't like to punch me, you know? They don't like to be aggressive. They don't like to like fuck super hard or like choke me out.
Oh no, I'm like definitely like, especially with women, I'm dominant.
Good.
Like like when I had a girlfriend like in the past, and like I was definitely the dom.
Yeah.
Like in the relationship, and like I would like strap, like we would fuck each other really good. You know?
Okay.
That was some of the best lesbian sex in my life. I will say.
Yeah.
That.
I'm like looking at you like, we're gonna fuck.
I'm like.
I love that for you.
It's
I'll
so hard to
record.
find. Yeah, girl, please do. It's so hard to find like people who, I don't know, want to like be dominant, because I'll be like, yeah, like you can choke me, punch me. Well, now not as much punch because I have a chin implant and I'm so scared that's gonna be like knocked out.
Oh no.
Like, flies out
Yeah,
between your
but
gums.
it's like whenever I used to fuck men, I would like leave with bruises, and that was like the best sex ever if I was like leaving a little hurt, you know. And women,
You're all trauma.
what women? Can you tell I have daddy issues?
Literally.
But women are like, no, like I want to treat you like the flower you are. I'm like, no.
Girl, please. please.
No, I am shit on your shoe, okay?
I love it. I love it.
Treat me as such.
And that's how I feel I am. Like, I'm not necessarily bisexual, but like if a woman is in the room or if she's like added to the mix, like I think I'm a lot more dom. I have a lot of dom energy as well. Like I can't be the bitch.
Yeah.
Even with,
Can't be the bitch.
No, even with men, like I don't have a lot of submissive energy. It's not fun for me. It's like,
so do you want a guy, like, would you put a guy on a leash?
I would put a guy on a leash.
I can see that.
My very first job actually was as a dom.
Okay.
So it was really fun. I used to fuck men in the ass.
Yeah.
Peg more men.
Peg more men.
You
They'd
know,
be happier, would they not?
yeah, you know, I realized
it.
a lot of like people that I've encountered, because like I've also like was a dom too before porn. Like a lot of people that I encountered like were just, you would look at them and you wouldn't suspect that like they would be into that, but they are. But I feel like, you know, people just want to be bossed around a little bit.
It's like, it's a businessmen and CEOs that
It
really
really
want
is.
that.
They want to be people. Men want to be bossed around to an extent, and you know, like they like that. They like that.
Yeah, there's a book, I think it's called, I could be a little off, but it's like Men Love Bitches or something like that. And it's like the bitchier you are, like the probably better relationships that you're going to have with men.
I'm definitely a bitch.
Because these men are like, oh, this girl, I could walk all over her. And like they don't respect you. They don't look at you like a human. Like honestly, since I've been celibate and like been setting my boundaries, I think men respect me more than they ever have. And I don't think it's necessarily about the celibacy. It's the fact that I'm like staying so strong on something
because
and
it adds
saying no.
high value to you. I feel like men here's the thing. Men aren't emotionally mature as women.
No.
And I feel like the no adds value to you because they want what they can't have.
Yeah.
And it appeases their mature subconscious. And I feel like women who are easy, that's why they get fucking ghosted all the time. Because it's like, okay, I've already attained this. This is not like, you know, fun anymore for me.
I used to think like fucking all these men. I'm like, oh, like I'm such good sex. They would say I'm good sex, and then they would ghost me. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Do they not want the vagina again? Like, but there's no better pussy than new pussy, which makes zero sense to me because like you don't know if that new pussy is gonna be good.
No, exactly. No, it makes me think. I was on this like trip in like England last spring, and I met this like guy who was like a mutual friend of like my friends I was traveling with, and he like was a DJ, and he was like so like into me the first night. He was like all over me, like trying to dance on me, kiss on me in the club. And like the thing about me is like when I'm dancing at the club or at an event or a rave, I don't dance on men at all.
Yeah.
I'm here to dance, feel myself, dance with my girls. Like that is like my vibe. Like when I go to events, I'm not here to like, you know, maybe if I like you, I'll grind on you a tiny bit, but like that's my whole point. Like,
Yeah.
I don't go to raves to like, you know, be
It's
like,
almost uncomfortable. to,
like I go there like
really
to look
is.
hot and be hot and have fun and like, you know, like be in my element. But this dude was like all over me, and I knew he wanted to bang me so bad that night, and I was like just smiling to myself because I was like, I'm not gonna let him fuck me tonight at all. Like, and he's not gonna like that. And like when everyone was going to bed in the Airbnb, I was like, so what's your plan? Are you gonna stay the night here? Like, so I'm going to bed. He's like, well, like I really want to fuck you. And I'm like, tonight's not the night. I was just like, it's not the night. And he's like, please. And I'm like, no.
Not
like,
him
It's so funny that he's like, well, I really want to fuck you. Like, yeah.
no, and then we like,
did you think that
but
you were
I'm
being
like, but it's like, you know, I just met you. Like contrary to popular belief, like, I don't know, like some people might be like this, but like me personally, I'm not into like random like one night stand hookups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I like if I just like meet you and like you're like, yeah, like you could be like really hot and like, you know, you want to bang me, but like that doesn't really appeal to me.
Yeah, because even
know?
in porn, I feel like you're fucking your friends, right?
Yeah, and it's like even if I haven't like met you or worked with you, like it's like different, you know, like the controlled environment, and like I'm all for like being a slut and like doing whatever you want and having like crazy sexcapades. But for me, it's more appealing to me to like, you know, have like a little bit of a connection with somebody.
Yeah.
Like I don't like unexpectedness. Like, you know, what if you like you want to like bang me on this first night, like, and you're gonna, I don't know, there's all these weird expectations. Like,
Yeah.
also I want to make you wait a little bit for it. Like, like this,
Drive them a little crazy.
yeah,
I love
like
that.
so I made him wait, and like we did bang like on my last night. So I was like, you know, if you really want to bang me, like tomorrow's my last night, like that's that, and so we'll see if you pull through. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I feel like a lot, at least for me, they're like, you know, you're too much work.
No, but when you set boundaries, like I feel like what Jade says, it does add value to yourself, and like, you know, it helps like weed out like people who don't like have respect for you.
Something that was so hot, at least to me. So I fucked Cherie DeVille.
Oh my god, I love her.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
But it was like, she had a whole checklist of like consent, boundaries, like, yes, we can do this, no, we can. And like, that's really hot. Like, she knows what she wants. She like can communicate that. And honestly, that's really hard because I think as women, we're taught that like we can't have opinions about things from like such a young age. Like, you don't like golf. Like, my dad would always be like, you don't like golfing, you'll never find a boyfriend who wants to stay with you. And I'm like, oh, so I have to.
Suddenly you're like fucking hitting balls. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
I'll play with other balls, okay?
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness.
The balls can hit me.
Yeah, I think that's what I like love about being in the industry is because like, you know, we are professionals and especially like, you know, people who've been doing this a long time, like you know what you want and like communicating that, like, you know, and like most people I feel like aren't really like, you know, used to that type of like, you know, sexual like I don't know. It
kind of
like,
goes back to like what we were saying, like people want new pussy, so like it's all about the novelty fuck, like, and that's why people aren't inclined to like be better in bed. Like your one night stands fucking suck so much more than someone you've been connected to for so long, just because you're just fucking it's just dick and pussy, you know?
Yeah. These men use you as like a masturbation toy, but like they don't care about
sleeve.
Like making you come, and like that's what I've noticed a lot. Like I don't miss dick that much. Like I of course do kind of mystic, but it's like they're not trying to make me come. These women try to make me come more than these men try to make me come. So like who am I gonna care about, you know?
I don't know. For me, it's like sex isn't fun unless we're both coming.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like I know if only one of us comes, I'm like, okay, I guess I'm gonna touch you with me. I'll go home to do that later.
Well, so Jade, I remember. Like, you were one of the first people I ever saw on Instagram, like, publicly, like, coming out as trans. And I thought that was, like, so fucking cool. Did you ever get, like, back in the day, like, how, that was, like really cool of you. Like, how did you do that on Instagram? Like,
funny story, the real story. Let's just get into the nitty gritty. I was being outed.
Oh.
I was being outed by somebody. And for me, like, my transness is not it's not my identity. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh my God, I'm trans, he trans rights. Like, no, that's not me. You know what I mean? I'm a woman, I'm going to assimilate in female cult, in my womanhood and everything like that. So when I told somebody and they started outing me, they got really excited. I'm not going to say any names. I'd rather not do that.
Yeah,
but they started telling a bunch of people, and then I was like, fuck. You know, that was when I was growing on Instagram, so I felt the need to, like, tell everyone, hey, I'm trans, you know, reclaim it for myself. So that was the true story, but it was kind of fun. It was fucking powerful and cool, and I felt like I had a lot of fucking support in that time from the community that I was in, and even from people who followed me on Instagram. Like, that was really, really cool to have that public experience. I really enjoyed it.
I remember looking at you, and I'm like, oh my God, like, she is, like, so strong, because I felt like back then, like, in 2017, like, at least I don't think people came to social media with any of their, like, inner secrets, or, like, that wasn't the cool thing. It was cool to, like, look perfect.
Yeah.
Right.
Or, like,
100%. And it was, like, I felt like that's what we all did. We curated, like, this image of ourselves and everything like that. So for me to, like, break that boundary, I was so freaking scared the day I posted that. I remember it was Trans Awareness Day. It was, like, November 17th, I think, that year.
I remember.
Yeah, it was, like, that Tuesday. And I was, like, what the fuck? And I did that, and it was like the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done. I almost shit myself.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. Like, but it was fun.
The Plur vibes though, like the EDM community really were like, fuck yeah, Jade.
Yeah, I remember that day was so monumental, and it was really cool to have that support, because, you know, in the day-to-day world, you know, in the real world, was outside of the rave community, people weren't as accepting for that, and it's so crazy to think that was, you know, just right at over 5 years ago.
Yeah,
people still weren't as accepting, and now, like, we're moving into this thing where people are, like, fluid and non-binary and all these other crazy shit, and it's so crazy to see the different
sick.
No, I love it. I remember that too, and like when you told me also like the real story of it, and I'm like, that's fucked up. Like that's like not
being outed is the scariest.
That's not
thing
anyone's
ever.
business to tell. It makes me think of, this is like really crazy because this is like the TV show Survivor. Like I watched it a lot, and they had like someone on there who like one of the people like outed their like teammate like on TV, outed them as being trans on like live TV. Oh no. Like, and they were not out at all.
That's fucking scary.
And like obviously the person who outed the person was gone, but I was just like, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's like insane.
It's just so scary too, because I mean, not to be morbid or anything, but like, you know, I'm scared to fucking end up in a ditch with my fucking head cut off. You know what I mean? Like, just like people are like, you're tricking me, and I'm like, maybe I don't live to trick you. If you think I'm living for you, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah, trans hate, like, I don't know if there's I mean, Christian hate, people like, you know, Christians hating, but like the hate that trans people get is like absolutely like not respecting pronouns, not respecting like you are a woman. You identify as a woman. You are a woman.
But here's also, like, the flip side. Like, I don't need anyone to respect me. Like, if I walk into a room with a bunch of people and they're like, oh, you're a fucking he, like, those aren't people I want to be around anyways.
Yeah,
And I don't care because I feel like for me, in the era that I grew up trans in, we didn't have all this, like, you know, social media where it was like people could be out and non-binary and they were like comfortable doing that, you know, behind camera and everything like that. That was never me. We grew up, we learned how to be stealth and stuff. So like my identity is, I put the I in identity, you know what I mean? So, you know, I made it my own. And if someone wants to call me a he, it's like, okay, you think I have a dick? My chromosomes are X, you know, are X fucking Y. Like, you're not saying anything monumental. I'm not offended by that. Like, I'm comfortable in my skin. And if you don't fuck with me, you don't fuck with me.
Love to see it.
Too.
Yeah, I remember back in those days, like social media, like 2017, at least like where I went to school in Arizona. You know, they're pretty. I got called a like prostitute hooker all the time. They're like, people are calling me a sex worker, and they kind of predicted my future. But like, they were like, "Are you a porn star now?" I'm like, "No." Should I be?
I just have my ass out.
Oh my god. No, it's like insane to like think of that time. I don't know. I feel like right now on social media, like it like people are like probably sharing a little too much. Sharing a little too much.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
like
us on the podcast.
Yeah. Like no what well no, I mean I mean not like this, but like I see like on TikTok people be like spilling all their tea, all these like deep like personal, just like being very I mean I think it's cool like being very like raw, like real and vulnerable.
Yeah.
But it's like crazy to see like the shift in that, like, you know, from like polished perfection to like, you know, people want like that sloppy kind of like, you know, candid
Now,
whatever.
the girls who were like huge on Instagram, like, do you remember it was like Sky something, and she was like a Fashion Nova model. She had like butt implants, and like,
I remember.
you remember her?
Yeah.
So like now, if you look at some of her engagement on Instagram, it's kind of trash. Like she doesn't get, because like people they want to relate to you, and how are they going to relate to you if you're perfect?
Yeah.
Which
With giant butt implants.
yeah, like I love women, but like to say that you don't have any plastic surgery, but I've seen videos of her walking, because she has implants. She didn't get a BBL. She has implants. You can see them flipping in like one video. But I do remember she did have a hate account and they were bullying her pretty bad. And she messaged them like, "Can you please stop?" And then they posted that screenshot.
Oh my gosh.
That's sad.
I don't know. I feel like lying about like having work done is like weird. I feel like normalize, and I don't say like normalize plastic surgery as in like everyone should get it, but like normalize like
being honest,
talking about it, being honest about it, because everyone you'd be surprised of all the people that get work done, people who get like their faces done, the people who get Botox, you know, like I've had Botox in my face and lip filler, like I've had my nose done, like, you know, nothing like crazy, but like I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm 100% all natural, but my issue also weird. My issue on the other side is like, you know, especially in porn, I like see this like conversation online is like, oh, I'm all natural, like kind of to have like a superiority over people who get like work done, and it's like, you know, there should be no hate to anyone who like buys their tits or like has, you know, natural ones, or like who buys their ass or, you know, works out for their ass or whatever it may be. It's like, I don't know, like I don't like those conversations, you know, at all,
to make it seem better.
Yeah, because I feel like it's a way to police like our bodies, and like I remember when I got into porn, like in like when I joined my agency, well, that doesn't exist, I'm self-booking now, but at the time I was with an agency joining, and I had like, you know, my first pair of boobs, and they were like telling me like, oh, well, you have your boobs are like done, like, ooh, that could be a problem because people like more natural. And I'm like, since when in porn did anyone hate on big fake titties? Since when? Okay, like,
it's part of the reason that like some people do market themselves as all natural, and it's not necessarily because they have a superiority complex, but like they make more money if they do that. Yeah. So it's like, for example, like Sky Brie, she'll be like, I'm all natural, but she naturally has a body that looks like it could be done, but it's not. Like her body is just naturally one of the most unattainable bodies you could have for it being natural. But like she makes so much money off of that. Yeah. And like I don't know what it is with these men. It's like they expect you to have a perfect body, but if you buy it, then they're like, oh, actually that's not that great. But like,
no, it's crazy. I just like, I don't know. I've just seen certain, not to name names, I've seen certain girls online where like, oh, like I don't have to like, you know, get a BBL because I already have a fat. Just like being a hater. Like I'm not gonna hate on
It's just so
anyone.
condescending. And if it's like you're natural and you're proud of that, then go and be proud of that. Why do you have to put another bitch down? Just
Yeah, that's my
you really
my
don't
issue.
feel that great about yourself if you have to put someone down. Like you're probably still ugly at the end of the day, and if not on the outside, on the inside, definitely.
It's so funny. So I used to have a co-host. I had like a different podcast way early on, and like this co-host, after like I ended things, like we broke up the podcast. She changed her OnlyFans bio to like natural tits, or it was something that was like a dig at me for having fake tits, but like in her bio.
They look amazing, by the way.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
they do. They're sitting nicely. Nice wrap.
I'm like, hello there.
You can see him later. Okay, I want to play a little game.
Let's do it.
Okay, so, you know, we're sex workers. We're supposed to be good at this kind of stuff. I want to make something so fucking disgusting sound hot. So I've been trying to think of, like, different stuff to, like, mix it up. Like, the one I did earlier was, like, yeah, like, my pee smells like asparagus. Like, you're into that or something. So I'm gonna try to think of, like, something else.
Okay. Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, if you guys can help me think of ideas, because I'm trying to improv it.
Like sexy talk.
Like sex, but it's about something gross. Like we need to make something gross sound hot, because like our one job is to be like, like, got a little.
I'm like, that's a hard one. I was like, oh, come over
Vomiting
here.
while you're fucking sucking dick.
Oh, come over here,
that nasty?
baby.
Oh, honestly,
I'm like, I want you to suck a fart out of my asshole, baby.
That was the one that I did with Cherie. Okay, yeah, we'll just redo that one. Okay, so I want to suck a fart out of your asshole.
You want me to say it?
Yeah, I'll say it after. We're all gonna do it.
I want to suck a fart out of your asshole.
Wow. What if it smells?
Oh, the smellier the better, baby. I love all that flavor.
You're good at that. You're so good at that. Oh my god.
All right. You're like, it's crickets. It's like chirp, chirp, chirp. I'm like, yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. My vagina just did a little pulse there.
Right.
All right. I want to suck a big, juicy fart out of your asshole and give myself strep B in my stomach from all that stench.
Oh, yes, baby. Please, and burp it right back into my mouth after.
Okay.
I'm just watching. I'm just a spectator in this part here.
Oh, I have a good one.
Ooh, let's do it.
This one's, I'm like, hey there, baby. Why don't you let me suck the dick cheese out of your cock and lick your gooch?
It would make for the most perfect charcuterie board that I can dip my crackers into. Yeah.
I spit a little bit. I literally spit. Wow, have you guys eaten dick cheese?
No. Talking about turtlenecks, like that's something that does scare me.
I've never seen dick cheese IRL.
I feel like I've only seen like 2 or 3 uncircumcised dicks. Like, okay, so the first guy I ever blew was uncircumcised, but I didn't have anything else to reference that with, you know? And then by the time I was like done with high school, there was this guy from Spain. Oh, wait, no. There was this other guy who he took down his pants and I blew him for 2 seconds, but I was like, I didn't know what was with his dick, because at that point I'd already seen a lot of dicks. And I was like, why does this dick look like it's like scaring me? So it was like playing peekaboo and something was going to come out and grab me.
Oh my God.
I said I was going to the bathroom. I just left. And I was rolling. That was my first time taking ecstasy. And I was like 15, 16. Ran out of there. And then the third one was right when I was about to go to college, and it was a Spanish guy. And I remember like looking at his dick. I'm like, I will not blow that. I will not put that. But like, I will feel it. I'm going to do doggy. I don't have to look at it, you know?
Oh my God. It makes me think on Tumblr, back in the Tumblr days, there was this really popular account, this guy in England, and he would put stuff in his foreskin, like hairbrush handle, M&Ms, like he had like a very long foreskin, and he would just put all this random shit in there, and he had a whole Tumblr account of it, and I would just like look at it like in shock, like what the fuck.
That was allowed on Tumblr. Oh, actually, I wasn't.
That was
on
like
Tumblr.
back in the day. Tumblr days, you can find some grotesque shit on there. That was so
but you know
fucking
what's crazy? On the topic of uncircumcised cocks, like, you know, this shows at the time, you know, before I had proper sexual education, I just thought all dicks looked, you know, how they are circumcised. I thought that was a natural. I thought it was like, oh yeah, that's just how your penis, you know, you were born that way. I didn't realize that, like, you know, people were getting circumcised, and like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that. I'm like, you don't have a choice about getting your dick snipped. I don't know.
But then if you get older, have you watched Shameless?
I have watched Shameless.
Where Carl gets circumcised and then he has all the scar tissue and like loses a lot of sensitivity because he does it later on. I'm like, do it as a baby so like the scar tissue isn't bad. But also circumcise your kids. I know that, okay, like there's mixed feelings about that, but like coming from me, it scares the fuck out of me to see an uncircumcised dick. Scares me, but at least
that should be someone's Halloween costume.
I will find you.
Honestly, I feel like that would be such a funny skit. I need to have my friend help me write that, but like just kind of make like it looks like something is literally trying to come out and scare you with an unless you pull the hood back. If you pull the hood back, you know that they look the same.
It's like whack-a-mole. You're like.
Too funny.
I don't think there's anything wrong with uncut cock.
I think
okay. It doesn't scare me personally, but
I wish it didn't scare me because it's like natural, but also like I do think that there's something about whatever you're unfamiliar with being a little scary to you. Like we all see cut cocks all the time.
Yeah, it's like a Western thing though. Because you go anywhere else. I mean, you even go to Mexico, like cocks are uncut. So
really?
It's like,
interesting.
It's mostly an American thing. Like
anywhere
else.
But it's like even vaginas. I remember like back in the day, like okay, here I got some roast beef. Okay, I got some chicken cutlets.
I'll get down in there.
But do you remember back in the day when there were those memes being like this vagina
this
vagina
like
okay, and then this one,
beef.
and people like make fun of girls with like the lips or like the fat vaginas because I got a fat ass pussy. Happens.
That's why I love porn because we see a rainbow of genitalia.
Yeah,
pussies of all shapes and sizes, lips out, lips in, whatever, clits there, uncut cocks, big balls, small balls.
Yeah.
Gooches.
So I think like once I started like eating vaginas, I realized like, oh my God, I was told to think like these vaginas were weird. Like I was like so insecure about my vagina. I would just like want to go to town on someone else's because I'm like, my vagina looks weird. And now I'm like, oh my God, like I love my vagina. So I feel like it could be like the same with dicks. Like even like this taste of vaginas. I remember everyone growing up would be like, vaginas just taste like fish. Vaginas are so gross. So I almost had this mental block going to eat my first pussy where I'm like gonna gag or something.
You're like,
you know?
Is this chicken of the sea?
Oh my God.
But now I like the taste. Like healthy pussies is like, you know,
it doesn't have like much of a flavor.
It's just like a little scent, you know, like a little.
The pussy smells like pussy.
Yeah, pussy smells like pussy. I don't feel like pussy's anything.
I like you know, I've only had a fishy pussy one time. Not me, but like someone I was going down on, and it wasn't in porn. But like it was like some weird like I don't even remember, but I was like, oh, you're a little ripe today. Okay. I love pussy.
Yeah. I'm like, for sure. Oh my gosh. Okay, tell me this, because I used to love eating oysters. I'm not as big into them now, but I almost feel like a pussy almost, it's like I've
never had an oyster.
You never had an oyster?
I'm a vegan. I've never had an oyster.
Have you never eaten meat, like ever?
I've eaten meat, but I've never had oysters.
Okay, got it. Have you eaten oysters?
Yeah, I love oysters.
Have you eaten pussy? Mm-hmm. Okay, so like I feel like not nearly as pungent as oysters, but I'm like I think a pussy's like maybe a 1 out of 10 of like what an oyster tastes like. But no one else gets my reference when I say that. Like no one else agrees with me.
I mean, you know, I don't.
It's almost like a salty like.
Yeah, it's like it just has that like little acidity to it. It's just like that. I mean, but that's normal because that's just a woman's vagina is actually acidic. So.
Yeah, so I just think about it like I'm eating oysters tonight.
You're like,
delicacy, baby.
I love it.
I don't know. That's so strange. My coochie does. I mean, because my pussy's man-made.
Yeah.
So it's like mine doesn't have any type.
Pussy's designer.
It's designer. Shit comes in flavors.
But can you get wet like naturally?
I can. But my wetness also depends on my arousal because it's almost kind of like the way it's built.
Yeah.
It's I hate to say this, they just basically turn your penis inside out, kind of almost, and that's how they build your clit with all your erectile tissue.
Okay.
So like it still does all the things, and it still like gets wet. I mean, mine does, but I also went to like a really good fucking surgeon.
I love that.
I'm getting a fucking.
She has a beautiful pussy.
I'm getting a fucking Lamborghini of a pussy. Like that's what I need. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm gonna have my shit manufactured. I need to go to the best of the best.
I just found out that like your asshole can like self lubricate. A little bit.
Some booty juice, yeah.
Yeah, booty juice. But like there is like some fecal matter in that, but like there also is some like it's like a cum from your butt. Like it's a thing for women too. Like not just I thought it was just a men thing. for one too. Did you guys know that?
I mean,
just had that
I know
yesterday.
booty juice is definitely a thing because I mean, like I've like practiced like I've done like solo anal stuff, like cleaning out, like the whole like process.
Yes.
But
to,
it
like,
creates that after being stimulated. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe in
Like-
pre-op I used to get that's the only way I could get fucked was in the fucking ass. So it's like that was the only hole I had an option with, and it would discharge after. It's not. I mean, obviously you clean it, so it's like fecal matter wouldn't end up in it, but it would just be a little, it'd be have some
Well,
extra shit in
it
it.
says fecal juice is part of whatever the liquid is.
Ew.
I mean, I don't know. That's just what I googled.
Stinks.
And they named it after a congressman. They named it after a congressman who, like, I guess he was really against gay rights and stuff. So they named the cum in your asshole after the congressman.
That's beautiful.
I think that's poetic.
It is poetic.
It's so poetic. So do you still have like your G spot in your asshole then?
Yeah, I mean, if you're taking out my little P spot, it's called the P spot. That's what we call it. If I were to
P
take that
spot?
out. Yeah, that's what it's called, the P spot. I mean,
Oh, because you're like
it's a prostate gland, so that's what it's called.
Interesting.
Only men have it. Women don't have that.
I wish.
I always think it's interesting that men's clitoris is in their ass.
It really is.
I've hooked up with a guy recently where like I was like eating his ass because like it was like squeaky clean, and I stuck a finger in and I stuck two in, and I'm like, he's loving this, and I was jerking him off and I made him come really hard.
Ooh, that's hot.
I will eat man ass if it's squeaky clean.
I'm surprised the amount of men that like a little finger in their ass.
There's
to
nothing
help
wrong
them
with
come.
having your ass
No.
eaten as a man. Like just sit the baby wipe in.
Yeah.
Swirl,
The last like 2 guys I've hooked up with, I was like, because I kept being told like ass play is what's gonna make their cum jump. So I like would like kind of try to like and then they would just like kick me.
There's a thing
Get off me.
as a dom. I actually had a performer I worked with on set. Like he could tell that I was a dominatrix in the past because of how I was jerking off his cock. Because like there's a thing that I like do like when I'm like jerking off the cock. I always like play with the balls, and then I kind of like will tease like under like the ball sack or like kind of like where the gooch
gooch.
is.
Oh, yeah.
And like you kind of like hit up in that spot like gently like while you're like jerking it. Like it feels like they love that. I don't know.
Interesting.
So yeah, try that. Whenever you encounter a cock again.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while. I need to be like in love, and they need to actually. Well, okay, they need to be in love because I feel like I could fall in love, but they're not gonna be interested a lot of the time. But needs to be mutual love.
No, they need to simp for you.
Yeah, which doesn't happen.
Sim for nothing.
Or nothing.
Or I feel like it happens with men who are like they want a sugar mama or they want someone who's gonna like be a dom. I feel like the men that are attracted to me or like want to be a simp for me are men who aren't dominant in like their life. Like they are very much like they want you to tell them what to do. They want to be bossed around. I don't like that. Like we both need to be dominant in our own like senses, but like I don't want a bitch for a boyfriend.
No.
And those are the guys that want to date me.
No.
Yeah.
No bitches.
No bitches. And like that, and those are the same guys who are like, we're nice. We're nice men.
Little bitch boys.
Yeah, like why doesn't
like a
anyone
bitch
want to date
boy.
us? It's because no one wants to date someone who like can't be confident within themselves.
No, 100%. Like, I mean, like, I get that. Like, bitch boy's fun to an extent, but like, I could see that. That would be like annoying.
Let me rephrase that. I mean, I think I like a submissive man. I don't necessarily like a
Oh.
bitch boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like a man that's submissive, but that's just like it's in my nature to be dominant. Like
That makes sense.
I just can't. Don't get me wrong. I live an alpha male, but getting put in my spot every once in a while because
Yeah.
I can be a little bit of a cunt. But
Yeah. Oh, the amount of guys who have ball gags to get me to shut the fuck up, but I love it. I'm like Jackie.
you're all kinky.
Like from that 70s show. It's like
my God.
I will just keep talking, and then when they're like shut the fuck up, I'm like, oh. No, but okay, like I'm into this.
You're
Like
slap me
Fahrenheit.
again.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for being on. Make sure to plug your guys your social media.
You can find me, Jewelz Blu, on Instagram. Only Jewelz Blu, spelled JEWELZ BLU, and then on Twitter, Jewelz_Blu.
I'm Jade. You can find me at Jade X Nathalia NATHALIA on Instagram. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
no more.
DEELZ.com. Yay!
Yay!
Cool beans. Thank you for having us.
Of course.
you.
It was so
That was
fun.